Hello, everyone. Wow. How's everyone doing today? That was an experience last night. I um I predicted a lot of things that happened and that came to pass at the same time. I was not prepared for the mood of episode 1. Oh, one second. Gotta mute myself so we don't get feedback. Oh yeah, the first episode blew my mind. It was genuinely the first episode. How do I describe this? So first off, anyone who's joining the stream right now, there's going to be spoilers, and spoilers are beginning right now. So you have 5 seconds to leave, and that's it. That's as much time as you're getting. Um, yes, I feel very vindicated about everything that was going on, as should you in chat. So I'm not going to break down the entire episode because you all theoretically watched the episode with me. I was struck by the tone of the episode, and I got the impression this was going to start right from the inciting incident, and the fact that that ended up being the funeral and the failed attempt to save Fang was absolutely shocking. Like I knew it was going to be that. I knew that was what was going to happen. That was my theory. I was not ready for a funeral and for everyone to be coming into town for that funeral and to have interacted in the way they did. I had pointedly asked Brennan and talked to Brennan about dramatic irony and how there was potential for different groups to be screwing with each other and to have different relationships that were not necessarily positive relationships. And boy, did Matt Mercer bring that immediately into the show. Spitting on a corpse was not on my bingo card. I was absolutely shocked. I was shocked by what happened with Laura and Laura's relationship with the Thjazi. That explains the state that her character is now in. I think that was brilliant. That opening scene with Brennan and Liam was pure theater. That I felt like I was watching a film or a television show. The dramaticness of it was a little overwhelming, honestly, for me in a first episode. I hope we have brighter moments and brighter days in campaign 4, because this was so overwhelmingly dark. I was right in so many of my theories. I don't know if I wrote everything down, but I wish I got some kind of award. So I called that they were related, that Liam's character was related to the Thjazi Fang. Not a big lift because of the whole last name being a Fang thing. I also called that one of the people within the party at one of the tables was going to be one of his exes. And that turned out to be Abria's character. So very vindicated on that one. Still, we need to learn more about Travis's character for me to find out what oath he is. And I talked myself out of the last stream. If you were here for the stream yesterday, I talked myself out of thinking that Alex Ward was actually playing an Artificer Reanimator, because I'm like, why not do the big swing and go full on Necromancer? I mean, you only get to play a Necromancer so many times. Why not just go all in? Yeah, Whitney absolutely is bringing the levity. I want to tell you right now, I do not believe that Sam Riegel is a light cleric or a cleric at all. I just don't. I think Sam is playing a long con. I think he's a celestial warlock or something else. I'm going to be watching the spells he casts very closely. If he does end up being a cleric, then fantastic. But I think Sam is one of the characters we need to watch, and I think given the tone of this, and especially how Matt Mercer leaned into the coffin and said what he said, that he hated the Thjazi Fang, I think there are other elements at play. This really felt like a mystery box type episode of a long-going show, and this is going to be a 3-year show. I think more people are involved in his death and for the reasons that he was not saved than are apparent right now. You see this a lot in different types of shows at funerals, where it's kind of a murder mystery party, and that's kind of the vibe that I got from this. So Could be a home grew. Oh yeah, his stats. So yeah, what were I didn't see Sam's stats. I don't remember them offhand. But the thing is, if they're going to fake a character sheet for Sam, then they're going to fake stats as well. So I'd actually have to like pay attention to the math that he's saying. Like if he got like, oh yeah, and I have a +3 to this. It might be too complex for them to do, and maybe they'll feel like that's in bad faith to the audience to be showing us a character sheet that isn't actually accurate. But it could be. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's something up with Sam. So a couple of other things that were right about Liam's character in almost every single way. I can't tell what type of druid Abria is yet, but it still feels like wildfire druid. Heat was mentioned several times. Clearly elemental. Keeps coming up. What else? You think he's a divine soul, but he thinks he's a cleric? Totally, yeah. I mean, he could be delusional in a sense as well. So that's. I think that's also a possibility. Whitney's character was really hilarious. Interesting that that's tied to Sam, and Sam has to kind of be the straight person to Whitney's shenanigans. Todd, that was because Matt's father sided with him, for the Thjazi Fang in the rebellion and brought down their house. Yep, absolutely. I like the darkness that we're seeing. Like these characters do not all get along. It does not feel like an adventuring party in the typical way. It will be interesting to watch them become a team in some ways. Todd Kenrick, you may be close about Sam. His charisma was a lot higher than his wisdom. Yeah, okay. I'm feeling good about Sam being either a celestial warlock or a divine soul sorcerer, and I think his character sheet is fudged. So, yeah. Yeah, I think Sam is super incredibly smart, super talented. His characters are always hilarious, and there's a lot of spontaneity. If he's going against some of that type, he's doing something deeply complex with the character. So I think that will be really fun to watch. Let me go ahead, and it's a good way to jog my memory. I'm going to move to the slideshow of the characters, and eventually I need to get the character sheets. So let's go slideshow and see if that's working. Okay. So yeah, I should have called it that Ibria was the X that Liam was going to have. Did call it the Taliesin Jaffe's mask is in fact haunted and part of the collection and is somehow sealed to his face. Interesting that he's an elf. Whitney is definitely being tyranny, and I did call it about the religious outfit. That seemed like a very pious thing. I was very proud of myself about Marisha being a wizard. I'm just saying. Again, I think it's going to be a divination wizard, and it's heartbreaking to see Laura Bailey's thimble that happy at this moment. I hope that character gets to be happy again. Yeah, Sam Riegel again, real cult leader vibes. Yeah, plot twist Ashley is totally terrifying. Holy cow. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Robbie, with Kagan Vale necessarily. Alex Ward being the necromancer we called in the last stream. I kind of talked myself out of that because I just think about myself. There's so much Frankenstein stuff happening right now. God, we have like a full Frankenstein TV show that just got greenlit. Younger Frankenstein. We've got Frankenstein coming from Benicio del Toro. Oh my God. My brain's totally fried. I'm not used to staying up that late. We've got a couple of Frankenstein movies. We've got the Bride movie. We've got so much Frankenstein content coming out. Why not be a necromancer? Ashley Johnson shocked me. And wow, what a hook. Having to deal with the souls of elves and everything else. I did not call that being her playing a paladin. I am noticing that no one is really a cleric, even though Sam is saying he's a cleric. Very absent of that. Yeah, Travis totally confirmed to be a paladin. I liked how they moved around the tables. That was such a huge move, though, starting with Liam. And Liam's face broke my heart. I wanted to cry the moment Brandon started talking and we cut to Liam. I was dead inside. I don't know how many more episodes I can handle something like that. Like that. My wife Megan and I looked at each other and we're like, "Oh my god!" Like we were totally shocked, and a little horrified. But yeah, Sam's a sorcerer or something. Something's going on there. So, I'm actually gonna rewatch the show and absorb a little bit more about the different factions and the different houses. Um, Amazing to have Laura Bailey on death saves. That was actually crazy. Uh, Liam's acting was just astonishing. Matt, I'm so fascinated by that character, and it's such a swing because you can lose an audience by playing someone that mean. Luis Carrazzo playing a paladin / sorcerer is super interesting. I wonder if he's just kind of doing a power build where he's funneling his sorcerer spell slots into his smites to get them higher faster. So maybe he's only done a level 1 dip into paladin or a level 2 dip, which is unusual, right? This early on. It's definitely a statement because your subclasses do not come online until you hit level 3. So I don't know where he's going with this. His subclasses do not exist yet until they level up. One of those things has to go up. So, yeah. Sorry. Todd Kenrick, what's Sam's multi-spec with one cleric to fool people? It didn't indicate he had a multi-spec on his character sheet, though. So, Celestial Warlocks do get plenty of healing magic. They get things like Revivify. And Divine Soul Sorcerers also have abilities. I mean, Divine Soul Sorcerers can completely fake being a cleric if they want to. And they may actually believe they are. I mean, it's kind of like Jester and being a Trickery Domain cleric. I like clerics who actually are the source of their own magic. Someone else did multiclass. Who was the other multiclasser? Oh, wow. Why am I forgetting this? Yeah, Matt's got a very interesting character he's working with. I'm pretty fascinated. Yeah, there's always Magic Initiate as a feat that you can dip and get a little bit of clerical magic as well. I think there's a bigger story. Like if Sam is in fact pretending to be a cleric, there's a longer con here. So, yeah, that's right. Matt's rogue. That was surprising. So he's a dirty fighter. So he doesn't have subclass chosen either then. I feel like he's going to end up being Battlemaster, but that explains why the character art doesn't have anything magical. He may learn. When you think about Sam Riegel's character with Not the Brave learning magic from Liam's character in the previous campaign and becoming an arcane trickster, it's fun for him to become an Eldritch Knight. And maybe he learns those magical tricks from Mag, who I still think is a divination wizard. So if Matt's learning magic, a little bit of magic to get an advantage, which is a real shady thing to do. I actually played a Jedi like that because he was just trying to learn to be a better pilot. But yeah, it'll be funny if Matt is playing a character who is going to learn magic from Mag. That would be funny. Yeah, and Luis is playing a paladin sorcerer, so I think he's going for some big swinging smites. Or maybe something about his oath sparked some type of magic within him, or he's been trying to hide that magic. I think there's a lot there. I'm still waiting to find out more about Travis's character. But I think it was an amazing first episode. I can't wait for the second episode and things to keep moving. I like the switching of the tables constantly. I thought that was really effective and really gave us that kind of cinematic feel for people to be coming in and out to introduce each person was pretty wild. I just get a sense of excitement, and they broke records. I don't have any insight into beacon numbers, but I know they broke records on YouTube. They broke numbers on Twitch. So it's great to see this much bigger audience that's now heavily involved in this new campaign, and also going to be theory crafting like we are right now about what the future is. So this is not going to be a 2-hour episode, by the way, because we had a lot to unpack. Not even remotely, but I'm going to be trying to do this every Friday if I can. I assuming I am able to watch the full episode and talk about that stuff. But what's interesting is how lore heavy. Boy, those wikis for Critical Role are going to be deep because absolutely, yeah, it was 100K YouTube. That was nuts. 41K on Twitch. Those are crazy numbers. Yeah. So I think these first few episodes are going to be interesting. I'm very curious how everyone ends up splitting apart. And what I also like is, well, those movies, it's interesting. Those movies and TV shows are obsessed with a character who's dead are always interesting to me. And there's no druid that can resurrect or reincarnate him. Interesting. Do we feel like the Thjazi Fang at some point is going to come back? I mean, that's a dramatic moment to have in 2 years, right? This character who has been the obsession of everyone. Again, if you're just joining the stream, we are talking about spoilers 100%. People are talking about spoilers in chat. We're just hanging out for an hour or so, kind of decompressing from what we watched. Again, I wasn't ready for how dark. Yeah, Beacon had some trouble, I heard. I wasn't ready for how dark this episode was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be giggles and joy, but this came off way more Game of Thrones than I was even prepared for. I can't. Have we ever had a beginning episode of Critical Role ever this dark? Like, out of the gate? That was crazy. Oh, yeah, the weird small shadow stuff. I love how Brennan was describing magic. And Liam getting at 20 off the top was nuts. As his first role. That was fantastic. And so well done. So well handled by Brennan to give him a little bit of almost magical insight. And kind of hacking the weave was very interesting. So, yeah, Sam's character is completely sus. Right? He's super... I'm sorry. I'm just not buying it with Sam's character out of the gate. Interesting if the Thjazi was the Black Shadow. I like the idea that there is suspicion and ritual magic had an effect. Not outright magic, but that there was a vibe, a sense of something. You know, pushing against or not liking Matt's character. Very smart. So I'm super curious about the future. This is going to be a fun show as episodes come out to unpack. I think a lot of this was relationship building, even though they were talking about the different houses and how they were affected, and we're really establishing how these characters interact with each other and the relationships they have. It's going to be very fascinating when we get into even more lore as things kind of, break apart. And again, this is not, I don't think, from knowing Brennan's DM style, he's patterning this show off of his players, like any good dungeon master. So it's interesting how this will all be eventually affected by these relationships. I know they're pre-taping this, but these characters are going to spin off wildly, I think, especially when they are no longer hanging out with each other at, when they're at different tables. How much they'll see character growth maybe after this funeral and not understand that this person has changed. Again, in Game of Thrones, see Arya Stark doesn't get reunited with her family for years and is a completely different human being by the time they get back. So, yeah, Matt's killing it. Yeah, Matt's having the time of his life. So, let's see, what do we have in chat right now? Light Church. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. And boy, will Tyranny be upset. What if Tyranny is a long con? Like, Tyranny is a chaotic character, but can you imagine if Tyranny was his patron? Or something weird like, I know it's not. I know that would be wild speculation, but the fact that this show, within the first episode, was that complex immediately has me kind of spinning about the future episodes. The theater does feel like a bastion for sure. In the 2024 core rules, it probably is a bastion. Why not? Ashley Johnson, still a mystery box character. Very curious what's going on with Ashley Johnson's character. A paladin I did not call. I should have, though, given they mentioned that they use a whip, which it's actually a censer, but it just felt so clerical. But the fact that Ashley mentioned that that was her actual weapon, it should kind of clued me into maybe this is more of a paladin. How fun to smite with a censer, an incense censer. That's wild. Or a lantern. That would be. That's a pretty cool flex. Yeah, Matt is 100% Jaime Lannister. I'm sorry. He is unlikable. It's funny that he's training the kids, though. It is a lot of paladins. A lot of the healing magic is coming from paladins. I'm interesting. We can't have a game of oops all paladins. They've got to separate, right? So, yeah, Tyranny as his patron would be awesome and wild and unhinged. And I think Whitney Moore clearly has the acting chops to do a turnaround like that. To be this kind of like playing this doughy-eyed character that is hanging out with Sam as in fact Sam's patron and calling the shots would be wild. But you know, that's absolute idle speculation on our part. So what are the big theories that you're seeing out there on Reddit and on Threads and everywhere else? I'm very curious. Oh yeah, I want to get a map of Aramán. Yeah, I think that's inevitable. If Brendan is obsessed with Lord of the Rings as he is, but he's also probably building it as he goes. But maps, world with no gods, oops all paladins. It was, yeah. This is pretty chaotic. Yeah, it's wild how many paladins. Yeah, absolutely. I think Travis, Laura, Robbie. Well, I don't know. I think Laura isn't going to be the soldier necessarily, since Laura's whole thing feels like a schemer. Todd Kenrick, it's interesting to think about how they deal with paladins without gods to enforce those oaths. So this is the interesting thing. D&D diverged from that whole concept a bit ago. A paladin's power, because originally, yes, paladins were kind of considered to be holy warriors, but clerics increasingly have become more martial, and because of that, paladins really gained their magic from their oaths. So a vengeance paladin believes so much in his cause and vengeance that he manifests the magic. Now, you don't have to play it that way, but that's kind of how it's written, unless otherwise stated. Like, there are barbarian zealots, and they get their magic directly from the gods, and that's described in their subclass. So, paladins get their magic from their oaths. It's not necessarily a betrayal or tied to a deity in any particular way. So, yeah, 5e got rid of the god requirement for paladins. And clerics got a little bit tougher, probably, situationally. Didn't Wick's mom have a demon of her own? Yeah, there was more than one demon. Yep, that's true. Good point. Oh, we got a super chat. What about the shadow that followed Matt out? Yeah, we're theorizing on that. It may have been Thjazi Fang's presence that followed him out. I like that Brendan described the ritual and kind of the protection superstition that was around the corpse. The Thjazi Fang, and that ended up manifesting in a shadow that very much did not like Matt's character. That was fascinating. So, we don't know. Oh, Matt playing Echo Knight? Yeah, I thought that I felt like the shadow was adversarial or was like trying to push Matt's character out. Though Matt playing an Echo Knight would make a lot of sense. I know Matt quite likes the Echo Knight, and that is, part of Critical Role. So I could see that. Echo Knights are kind of OP. Yeah. That's also, man, I was not prepared for the sadness of the fairy realm being closed, and now fairies are growing old. Having the gods die and how that affects resurrection magic, I was prepared for, but other realms being closed off, it almost feels like the entire planet is closed off. What if Matt is playing? Oh, coming from John. What if Matt is playing the BBG long con? Yeah, he could be. I mean, that'd be fun. Now, I don't want to do a Deadpool of what character is going to die first. But I'm curious. Because someone's not making it out of this game. I don't think Brennan's going to relent. I don't think he's going to be overly kind about death. I'm curious if it's already happened. That would be a weird marketing flex to be like, we've already lost a character. Because they're taping so far in advance. But I don't think they would do it. I think that they would leave that alone. Not turn that into a marketing beat. Would drive me nuts, though. We haven't established that there's no way to bring someone back. Have they flat out said there's reincarnation will not work? I mean, Bria's character did kind of allude to the fact that they can't bring him back, right? That his soul had dissipated. I think there's totally a traitor or two in this group. Yeah, it was interesting that he was using the clue spell. That's from Valda's Spire. That was random. I wonder if that's them using D&D Beyond and maybe not clicking some of the source books off of like what they were and weren't using. Because it's kind of hard to keep track of that stuff on D&D Beyond, quite frankly. You may have like a billion books enabled and not know it. One second, I just got a message I need to check real quick. Okay. Yeah, the thing with the elves is interesting as well. I just don't trust this group. I mean, things are already shady. By the way, I mean, again, I was watching the show with my wife Megan, and we knew the moment they had a plan to get Thjazi Fang out of there, and he wasn't having it. He didn't think he was going to get saved. It was interesting that he didn't think that was going to happen. That was a long shot where it just was not going to happen. And it was such a complex thing to be showing the characters who were trying to save him also preparing themselves emotionally for failing. I don't think any of the characters were like blind to the fact that the stakes were high, but at no point did I think they were going to save the Thjazi Fang. It's interesting it was tied to teleportation magic. But, I mean, what if the Thjazi Fang is the big bad? Like, there's so much built up on this character. I mean, what a weird red herring. I mean, imagine actually, Rings of Power again. Rings of Power is kind of a flawed show. And spoilers if you have not watched it, but there is a mystery in season 1 about who Sauron is. And there's a lot of speculation. What if, again, there's the big bad is in the party? You have so many great actors here. Or what if the Thjazi Fang is? What better way to build up a villain than to constantly be talking about them? But he seems so well liked. Yeah, the Elves' Holy Relic is interesting. Todd Kenrick, Brennan told us that Luis, he said that Thimble placed the ward instead of someone. That scene would have gone differently. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I need to rewatch everything with Thimble very closely. Yeah, I'm very curious about all that. What other theories are we working with here? I still believe that. Oh, by the way, if you join the stream, don't forget to like, subscribe the video, leave comments about your theories as well. Kind of turn it into a chat room in the comments, because sometimes chat can be hard to find on YouTube posts. It does still exist. Also, I have a Patreon that helps support these videos. Those are the links that are going on in chat at this moment. Yeah, I'm gonna probably rewatch some of the show either today or tomorrow, because I feel like this is such a mystery box show. Todd Kendrick, did you watch the cooldown? I didn't. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've got Beacon, so I'll check it out. Yeah, absolutely. I'll watch it. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of content, by the way. Woof. 4 hour show. I'm envious of the people who watch like 20-minute episodes of TV and give their hot takes the next day. That's why this is a live stream, because there's no way I could functionally edit together something that was completely interesting. We'll see. I hope everyone still enjoys this format. I love that we have 450 to 500 people. We have like almost everyone here who was here yesterday. That's crazy to me. So thank you for joining. I appreciate that. Did you feel like the show felt short? I mean, for the number of places that they got to, it felt short contextually. It's just the time of all of it. And I was not prepared for the darkness of the episode and the sadness. Yeah, funeral episodes actually bummed the crap out of me just as a person, or shows about funerals. I kind of have a hard time with them. I actually recently had a very sick family member, so just the idea of funerals I have a difficulty with for the next billion years. Not that anyone doesn't, but yeah, they got a lot done in 4 hours. 100%. I agree. It's gonna be wild when we get into the adventure bits of everything. Oh wow, that is hardcore. Yeah, critters are hardcore. I mean, you all are all in on this stuff. So I'm really excited that many people tuned in. It's interesting because I think there's a lot of combinations here. Obviously, so many people are fans of Critical Role. Then we have the Brendan element of Brendan bringing in his audience, and then we have the element of so many different people bringing their fans as characters. And on top of everything else, they've promised something that is truly different and complex that has not been streamed really in the live play space that is this complex. Brendan is killing it. I don't know how he does it. My brain starts cooking after 2 hours, where it's almost mush. But I improv. But he's improving so much as well. And I do the same. Like, I would throw out plot lines left and right. Actually, as a dungeon master, I got to the point where I didn't even write plot lines. I wrote like notes. Yeah, it was definitely a reunion for sure. It kind of reminds me of Dragonlance a little bit. When you think about Dragonlance in the very first book, they all show up. Yeah, they are a bunch of weirdos, 100%. Todd Kenrick funerals in my family are about half reunion. Yep, 100%. Todd Kenrick, I am wondering what happens that pulls Liam and Abria away from their kids. Hopefully nothing tragic happens. Yeah, I know. Weird for them to have families, right? So who takes care of them? Does he have another brother, or did they introduce other family members that could take care of the kids? Do I have a favorite character? Oh, do I? Man, that's a hard. I cannot get sad thinking about Liam. Liam gives the saddest face on earth. So, let's see. I do love Matt Mercer's character. I think I'll like him more when he's likable. So, um, I think I like the chemistry of everyone together. What are all of your favorite characters? I don't. It's just too. It's too soon to tell. I'm very. Tierney is much needed. Light. Um, in a very dark episode. The Big Chill, yeah. I think Liam has a lot of exes. Yeah. I think a lot's going on with that character. Yeah, so Matthew Mercer's character is very fun to watch, and Tierney and Thimble, I gravitate so much towards Laura Bailey characters because they often are characters that I kind of play myself. Actually, more so, honestly, my wife Megan plays a lot of characters who are very, Ashley, fascinated. I'm very fascinated by Ashley's character. And Marisha's character is a lot of fun. And what a great way to play a wizard. Totally against type, totally different. Yeah, I think if I always worry about when's the point I'm never going to stream D&D again. I really need to play a necromancer. I love necromancers. So, yeah, I'm obsessed with Murray. I think it'll be great if Murray trains Matt's character in the ways of magic and he becomes an Eldritch Knight. I don't think so. I think he's going to play an Echo Knight. Now that people have brought that up. Yeah, Laura kills characters. Laura is always making the best characters. I called it. I'm sorry. I have to say, I called that Murray was a wizard. I just couldn't get over the spectacles and the little crystal. So I still think divination wizard. I don't think that's been defined. Yeah, that was very very different. It's scary. It's scary. I think it's scary because it's Ashley. So I think Ashley's character is so not who Ashley is as a person. I hope that it makes you terrified. So this I think this is the most dramatic critical role has ever been. So quickly, it's so weird because I truly felt like we walked into the middle of a campaign that we had just not been watching, and the acting was done, the role playing was done so well that it felt earned. This did not feel like episode 1 in any way, shape, or form. To the point where I can see a whole bunch of books coming out about what actually happened previously. I could see them publishing those. The prequels alone for all these characters, people will buy that stuff up. That's actually what happened with Dragonlance. They had a lot of prequel because those characters all met together and had a history. It was like 10 characters or so. It was a ton in Dragonlance. And they all meet at this inn. And everyone's a little bit different. Like Raceland, this wizard, has golden skin. There's all this stuff that's happened. And all these stories about what they've been doing. And one of them became a knight and all this other stuff. But they ended up releasing tons of books, prequels, that described where those characters came from, and I could see Critical Role doing that. So, a book on Thjazi's and Thimble's adventures would sell well. I'd read that. Well, we're coming up at time. I figure we'll just keep this as a kind of a hey, let's talk about our theories. Let's try to figure out what's happening next. I think 1 hour is probably a good wiggle room. But wow, what a shocking episode. And it's funny that it was so shocking. I think the emotional element of the show is what shocked me the most. I called a lot of the classes and subclasses and character interconnections. I felt pretty great actually about that interview I did with all of them. If you have not seen that interview, I highly recommend you watch it. It's actually probably pretty funny to watch now. I'm not going to put you through watching the interview again, but it's on my YouTube channel where I interview the cast and watching their facial reactions, now knowing how pinpoint accurate I almost got with some of this stuff, feeling pretty nice. So, oh my God. The fact that, okay, that killed me inside that it was Luis that had to be the one to take, to bring Thjazi out. Yeah, Laura got me crying. Starting chat. Yeah. Yeah, Robbie's character is wild. Yeah, Brennan, boy. What can I say about Brennan? I hope I've ever been that good to of a dungeon master to my players. It's it's always the people with improv training too. Comedy is the hard thing. People who know comedy can do darkness and drama like no one else. If comedy is always the hardest, so to bring it down to something deeply dark, it's chilling. Some of those speeches that Brennan gave. So. Do you feel there could have been PvP at any given? Yeah, I felt like PvP was on the table. There was a funeral episode where I don't know if anyone watches Mobland, but they have a funeral episode that's extremely tense. That things feel like they're going to pop off at any minute. If you like mobster shows, semi-mobster London. Talos and I hate all of you, but I'm going to protect the children. That's pretty amazing. This is going to be such a lore-heavy show. Like I said, the wikis I will have to read and reread. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen in the next episode. That's wild to me. But what a great beginning catalyst to everything. Yeah, I mean, that is something we called that the mask was in fact magical and clearly some kind of cursed item that has affixed itself to Talison's character. Yeah, I'm curious what is underneath there. Yeah, Matt's character, he's living his best life for sure. I totally agree. Well, yeah, you need merch. I need books. I actually, so I did do a live stream, and so I had this live stream show that was ongoing, and I actually included Exandria in it, and I did a crossover kind of weird episode where you can actually hear the cast, the Critical Role's characters on the street during this exact same moment, and the players were in that moment. I was so obsessed with getting this moment right because it was set in Matt's world as kind of like a cameo experience. I had to ask him, I had to know everything. I had to know how many soldiers were in the town. Like, I got so obsessed. I had the maps for the campaign up on my walls because I wanted to get it right. I get very obsessive about lore and very protective of other people's lore. I don't do that at all for, like source books and stuff like that. But boy, when you know the person who wrote the thing, you get nervous about getting it wrong. I really don't think Wick is a cleric. I'm not buying it. I think I think there's all kinds of weird stuff happening. I think he's either a celestial warlock or divination, a divine soul sorcerer, or he's a celestial warlock that somehow is getting healing magic from tyranny. I think something really bonkers has to be happening to keep Sam engaged. So I love Abria's character. Instant chemistry. And grounding everybody. I mean, everyone's really great at grounding each other, but like Abria I believe in all the relationships that Abria has. I think Abria absolutely kills it in live play shows. I've worked with Abria on a couple live shows, actually, with Baldur's Gate 3 cast. No, she's nuts. She's great. She's one of the most talented people I've ever met. And it's great that she's super tall. I'm 6'5". I like hanging out with tall people. So, yeah. Divine Soul Sorcerer makes sense. I think Warlock is an interesting twist. So, well, I'm going to wrap it up. Had a late night watching Critical Role. So, I'm going to try to do this next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you want to see more video content like this, if you want to see another stream like this, let me know. Do you still like this format? Leave comments, send messages. If you enjoy these kind of cool hangs, I can't believe we've got like 400 to 500 people, critters. I really appreciate all of you. You are also deeply supportive. Thank you so much for watching this show. It's been so kind to be interacting with all of you. And again, when I see all of you at conventions, it's amazing. Who's 5'11"? 5'11's tall. Oh, Abria? I think Abria might be 5'11". Yeah. Oh boy, I wonder how quickly people are going to level up. That's going to be wild. So, all right. Well, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you can, go over to Patreon and become a patron there. You can also do like a full year membership now, I guess, so you don't have to worry about it. But there is also a way for you to actually subscribe on YouTube as well, where you like donate money, and that helps me fly down to like, say, Burbank or wherever to interview people about D&D and Critical Role. So, yeah. All of you, have a great day. Have a great weekend. And do something spooky. Watch some spooky stuff. I appreciate all of you. I will start getting music for these live streams for the very beginnings of them, so that you don't have to look as some static image. By the way, I didn't actually ever plan to do these streams. So, yeah. Well, I appreciate all of you. I'm just going to take it to the starting soon screen, because I don't have a goodbye thank you screen before I shut down the stream. So you get a last minute moment to chat. All right. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I appreciate you.